Hello everyone! So, the other day at work, I overheard some employees talking about various social media sites and how they didn't really care for them. They considered sites like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to be not much more than just a waste of time and/or a replacement for human interaction. These co-workers also got into a discussion with other employees who tried to defend social media by saying that it's a way of bringing people together in a way that past generations never could. And rather than join in on the conversation, I decided to avoid that human interaction and talk about it on the internet. That already goes to show that they do have a valid point. And honestly, there have been a lot of times at work where I'll just waste my breaks scrolling through Twitter. That is when I'm not just eavesdropping in other people's conversations like a creeper. Or I've gotten sucked into that YouTube void and realized that I've wasted an entire day watching YouTube videos. Or it's just a last-ditch effort to avoid boredom, or when I decide that I really hate myself, I'll go on Facebook. However, all three of these are still really good examples of social media platforms that bring people together in a way that was previously unheard of. Facebook seems to be the most known and obvious one for this, and as self-deprecating as it may be every once in a while, it's still a really good way to bring friends and family together in a relatively simple way. For instance, I have a large family, and because of that, sometimes it can be rather difficult to get pieces of information across to all of them. However, one of us had the smart idea to start a Facebook group for our families so that we could have this information available to all of us. Information like engagements or weddings, funerals, births, reunions, Christmas parties, or even just asking for help with moving. It's a really good way to keep in touch with family that are scattered all over the world. Much like Facebook, Twitter is used to share information almost instantaneously to a group of people, sometimes on a massive scale. It's not always about those benign little details about your friends' or celebrities' lives, like whether or not they had a good morning or what they're eating for dinner. Although if that's the kind of thing that you're interested in, it's there for that. But many times over, Twitter has been used for some pretty incredible things that bring people together on a very quick, very simple, and often massive scale. Charities from all over the world have received millions, if not billions of dollars from people who have spread the word or donated via Twitter. In the events of national and international disasters, Twitter has been used as a pretty vital tool to help people being affected by them. Hurricane Sandy is a great example of this. Not only were donations gathered through the use of Twitter, but also shelter locations and the supplies and availability of those shelters, as well as information about the hurricane itself, were all shared via Twitter, and therefore all of that information was available to anyone who needed it immediately. President Obama even did a Twitter Q&A where he directly answered citizens' questions that tweeted him about healthcare and the economy. That's really cool, but even on a smaller scale, people's lives have been changed through the use of Twitter, even on a one-to-one interaction. A really good example of this is a man named Chris Strouth, who after finding out that he had a kidney disease and needed a transplant, simply sent out the tweet, "Shit, I need a kidney." And he immediately got a bunch of responses to it. After explaining it in a little bit more detail, he ended up with 19 people who were willing to go and get tested and donate him one of their kidneys. And in the end, that's exactly what happened. All just because he posted it on Twitter. That is just spectacular, right? Similarly, YouTube has also been used to accomplish some pretty cool stuff. Earlier this year, a YouTuber by the name of Tyler Oakley got his fan base together and raised $525,679 for the nonprofit organization The Trevor Project, which focuses on suicide prevention for LGBT youth. That's so awesome that a platform like YouTube can be used to accomplish something that's so beneficial to a large group of kids that really need it. Because of YouTube, that and so many other cool things are possible, from massive crowdfunding to simply allowing people like me to post random videos on the internet. Anyway, I just wanted to shed that little bit of light on social media, for those who don't know much about it, or for those who hold the same viewpoint as my coworkers did. Either way, I hope you learn that they're not always a waste of time. Bye.